Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoy this message, there are many different ways that you can support the work that I'm doing here on my channel. And I've included some of those ways in the description, so go ahead and look at those if you are interested. So I want to get right into the message here, and no judgment when I say this because I'm absolutely guilty of it too. But something that we as old souls and light workers really need to get over is the want or the desire to leave this place. So the truth is that you find yourself on earth right now because the Creator has asked you to incarnate within the dimensional spaces to preserve the terrestrial kingdoms. And your work is very far from over, and the idea is not to leave this place. This is a home that you're creating. This is a home that you will be very proud of, and this is somewhere the soul is going to be for the duration that it exists. So what is the right approach to take in that situation? What we're being asked to do is we're being asked to find the reflections of home within this dimensional space. We're meant to find the things that make us feel like home and bring them into the equation and nurture them into being in the here and now until that's all that's left. And coming into the earth like you and I have requires you to be very open about the light that you have and the way that you distribute it. So you've been asked to come to the earth. You've been asked to use your light to create resources for a higher functioning, higher vibrational humanity. And you have been asked to learn the tactics of the ego as you dance with it during that, that giving light and creating vibrational resources process. And one of the biggest revelations that you can have during your spiritual awakening is, this is not about deleting the ego. This is not about removing the ego. This is about understanding the ego and using it to your advantage. Understanding its tactics, understanding what it presents to you, understanding that its objective is survival and self-preservation. So none of that is in alignment with the light work and operating from a fifth dimensional state. But if you learn to manage the ego, if you become aware of its tactics, then you can ask the ego to facilitate growth and expansion and powerful self-reflective processes. So you need to bring your light. You need to be willing to send your light. And I want to tell you a little bit about the ego and how it might try to stop you from doing that. So let's say you are out and about and you hear the distant sound of ambulances and sirens in the distance. So what does an empowered, self-aware light worker do on that occasion? They turn within. They close their eyes, they center in their heart space, and they tell Spirit, they tell their Creator, send my light to that place. Send my vibrational resources to whoever is in need, going through whatever they're going through, and let it be what makes the difference for them. So when we do that work, we don't always, we hardly ever get to see the results of what came from providing those resources to those in need. So it's a thankless job, and it's one that requires an awful lot of trust. But let's say the dynamic with the ego within your system is an unhealthy one. What might happen in that instance is when you hear the sirens going off, you will think about sending your light, and you will get 100 different ways of why you shouldn't. And it usually looks like this. We can send our light, but what are they going to do with it anyway? We can send our light, but the outcome that's meant to happen is going to happen anyway. We can send our light, but I'm not sure I'm vibrationally worthy enough at this point. We can send our light, but I haven't healed myself enough to be able to do it in the right manner. And all of that chatter is the ego's way of keeping you in limitation and keeping you from understanding the true reach of your intention. And then it's done its job. The ego's job is to facilitate survival within the linear space. Anything outside of that, even if it is quantum and more true to your authentic self, is going to trigger the ego the wrong way. You and I have the option in that decision point to follow what the ego has told us, or to proceed anyway and use our light to influence whatever the situation is. There will never be a point where the ego doesn't chime in to some degree. What will make the difference is you deciding to do the work anyway. And you should know, when you send your light to places, we do it unconditionally. We do it not with, any predetermined expectation or outcome coming into being. That's not really our job. We send our light unconditionally. We let the Creator facilitate whatever he has planned for that soul, whatever they're learning, whatever they're gaining, whatever they're going through. It's a personal thing between them and their Creator. Create the resources, make the light connections, and move on. That individual has their own guides. That individual has their own stuff, that they're going through. And it's not our job to influence or change that. It is our job to create the resources that the guides need within the physical space to help that soul navigate whatever it is that they're going through and to align with whatever outcome is meant for them. So observe, don't absorb, don't be in judgment, don't reserve your light until you feel more worthy of providing it. Do the work, create the resources of light, and move on. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you very soon. Thank you.